Good morning, dears, and welcome to Super Coaching for UPSC by Textbook. And today we meet here to discuss one of the very important topic of Indian economy that used to be in current repeatedly, and that means last week this was in news because of our statement of our minister, and that is repeatedly in news. That means sometimes it is and that topic is, first let me discuss that topic. That topic is fertilizer subsidy. Sometimes this is in news because of that means there is scholars are of the opinion that urea should be included in nutrient waste subsidies, okay, nutrient waste fertilizer subsidy. And now it is in the news because our fertilizer minister, our fertilizer minister Mansukh Mandviya said that this year the fertilizer subsidy is going to be reduced, okay, that in last year this was in last year this was 2.25 lakh crores, and now it is going to be reduced to 1.7 to 1.8 lakh crore, okay. So because of this that means subsidy burden of fertilizer is going to be reduced for this fiscal year. So there is need to that and this statement was given by our fertilizer minister when he was speaking to the press persons. He released his book, okay, when he was encountering with the press persons in the at the occasion of their release of book, okay, and the name of his book is The Fertilizing Future, Bharat March Towards Fertilizer Self-Sufficiency. So when he was releasing this book, and the name of the book is the Fertilizing the Future, Bharat March Towards Fertilizer Self-Sufficiency. At that point he said that this financial year or this fiscal year the fertilizer subsidy is going to be reduced, and it is going to be reduced 1.7 to 1.8 lakh crore, which was in last financial year, which was 2.25 lakh crore, and it is going to be reduced not because of that we have increased the retail prices, because the global prices has reduced, okay. So global prices has reduced, because of that fertilizer subsidy, the burden of fertilizer subsidy is going to be reduced. That was a statement. So that's why it became important for we people to understand that what is the that fertilizer subsidy, what are the scenario in regard to fertilizer subsidy in India, and what measures government has taken in regard to fertilizer subsidy. And not only this, we will also discuss that way forward, okay. And sometimes it is in news because of there is opinion of the scholars that the urea subsidy should also be included in nutrient based subsidy. So we will understood that what type of subsidies are given in regard to fertilizer in India, and what are the significance of including urea subsidy into nutrient based subsidy. So let's start our today's session. So let's start our today's session, and we discuss that what is the meaning, why we are going to discuss it. We are going to discuss it because it is repeatedly in news. It is sometimes it is in news because of there is opinion of the scholars that urea subsidy should be included into nutrient based subsidy, and now it is in news because of our statement of our fertilizer minister, and he was of the opinion that this year fertilizer subsidy is going to be reduced, and it is going to be reduced not because we have increased the retail prices, rather the global prices of the raw material has reduced because of that. So we are going to discuss all this. So first in the first we will try to understand that what is the meaning of fertilizer. First of all, we will try to understand that what is the meaning of fertilizer. First of all, we will try to understand that what is the meaning of fertilizer. So when we talk about the fertilizer, fertilizer is a natural or chemical substance that containing chemical elements. Okay, what is fertilizer? Fertilizer may be natural, may be chemical or artificial substance that may be natural or artificial substance that is going to contain some chemical elements, and such as the chemical elements they are nitrogen, phosphorus and potash, okay. And these chemical elements are important, elements are important for the growth and productivity of plant. Okay, so what are fertilizer? Let me give you a background as well, that for the production of agriculture crops, or the farmer needs 3 or 4 things. Okay, one thing is there is need to have, in order to grow the crop, there is need to have the seeds. Other thing is the farmer need to have the fertilizer in order to increase the productivity, because these fertilizers are used for increasing the chemical substance which is needed by the plant. Okay, third thing they need to third thing they need to that means they need to have the machines. Okay, so that means the farmer needs 3 or 4 things. One is seed, other is fertilizer, third is that machines or tools to produce the agriculture produce. So we are going to focus that today's session we are going to discuss this fertilizer. Okay, so first I try to explain that what is fertilizer. Fertilizer is nothing but it may be artificial, it may be artificial or natural substance that contains chemical elements, and those chemical elements are nitrogen, those chemical elements are phosphorus, those chemical elements are potash. Okay, and why they are being, because they are important for the productivity and growth of the plant. That means these chemical elements are necessary for the growth and productivity of the plant. That's why. So fertilizer is and in case of India we are using three fertilizers. Okay, in the fertilizer we are using 3 elements, that is nitrogen. We are using nitrogen. We are that means farmers of India is taking nitrogen. They are using phosphorus for the productive growth. They are using potassium. Okay, and for the the growth, just to ensure these things, that we are giving 3 type of fertilizers. One is urea. Through urea, nitrogen, the requirement of nitrogen is being fulfilled. The requirement of nitrogen is being fulfilled through urea. The potash requirement is being fulfilled through DAP, that is diammonia phosphate. And that potassium, the requirement of the plant for potassium is being fulfilled by muriate of potash. Okay, so that means we are using, the farmers of India are using 3 type of fertilizer. Okay, those 3 type of fertilizer are, they are using urea for that means fulfilling the requirement of plant in terms of nitrogen. They are using the fertilizer of that means to fulfill the requirement of phosphorus. Indian farmer is using DAP. DAP is known as diammonia phosphate. Okay, and to fulfill the requirement of potassium, they are using the nutrients, or they are using the fertilizer in the form of muriate of potash. Okay, so that means in case of India Indian government is bearing the burden, because we are not the producer of these fertilizer, especially we are not producer of DAP and muriate of potash. Because of that, if the farmer is going to use it by themselves, this is going to be, market price of DAP and muriate of potash is too high. So government is that means allowing or giving subsidy. Government is giving subsidy for the use of these fertilizers. Okay, so that means what type of scenario it is. So now we are going to discuss that fertilizer subsidy. So that means government is going to bear the burden of market cost of production, and the cost which should be beared by the farmer. Okay, what is going to be different? Suppose that DAP, the market cost of DAP is 4,000 rupees. The production cost of DAP is 4,000 rupees. Okay, per bag. But the farmer is getting it in 1376. So that means farmer cannot be a 4,000 rupees. Okay, 4,000 rupees. So that means farmer are getting it in 1376. So how much they are giving that means the remaining amount is being paid. Remaining amount is being paid by the government. That is known as subsidy. So the government is giving high subsidy. Jyoti Patel, good morning dears, and we are discussing the fertilizer subsidy, which is repeatedly in current affair many times, and it was in current affair that means on 18th 18th January because of that statement of our fertilizer minister Mansukh Mandviya. So that's why we are discussing all about the fertilizer subsidy, what is the scenario, what measures government has taken, all these things we are going to discuss. So till now we have discussed that what is fertilizer subsidy and what type of fertilizer Indian farmer are using. Okay, so Indian farmer are using three type of fertilizer. One is urea, other is DAP, diammonia phosphate, other is that muriate of potash. Okay, so that urea is being used for to fulfill the that requirement of nitrogen, and DAP is used to fulfill the requirement of potash, that is phosphorus, and MOP is used to fulfill the requirement of potash. Okay, so this is the scenario, and that production cost of this fertilizer is too high. So that's why government is bearing burden, and that is known as subsidy. That is known as subsidy. And since government is providing this subsidy in terms of that means for the fertilizer, so they are known as fertilizer subsidy. They are known as fertilizer subsidy. So we are talking about that what is the meaning of subsidy. We try to understand that the market price. Let me know whether the speed is too high. The speed is too high, is it like that? I can slow down. I am. So that the thing is, I just want to say that suppose the production cost of DAP, the production cost of DAP is going to be 4,000 rupees, okay, per bag, but farmer is going to get it in 30. It is not feasible for the farmer to give 4,000 rupees per bag for DAP. Okay, then the farmer is not going to have, that means that going to earn anything. That will be very difficult for the farmer to have their livelihood from the agriculture. Okay, so that's why government is going to bear the burden, and that means government is providing the DAP bag in 1376. So the remaining cost is going to be bared by the government, and that is known as fertilizer subsidy. That is known as fertilizer subsidy. Okay, so when we talk about the fertilizer subsidy, in case of fertilizer subsidy, in case of India, the fertilizer subsidy is given in two forms. One is known as nutrient based subsidy, that was started in 2010. Be very clear. Now we are going to that there is, when we talk about the fertilizer subsidy in India, fertilizer subsidy scenario in India, there is two type of fertilizer subsidies are given in case of India. That is, one is nutrient based subsidy, that was started in 2010 by the government, and other is urea subsidy. Okay, so that means we are providing two type of subsidy. One is for in case of fertilizer, that is, one is nutrient based subsidy. What is the meaning of nutrient based subsidy? Don't worry, we will understand. And other is urea subsidy. Okay, the government is providing urea subsidy. What is the meaning of nutrient based subsidy? Nutrient based subsidy, that means under this subsidy, that government is going to provide subsidy to the producer. Who is going to get the subsidy? Here the producer is going to get subsidy. Okay, farmer is going to get the fertilizer and 276 for that urea. We will discuss what is, and 1376 for DAP. Okay, and 700 something for MOP. So that means farmer is going to get it in the market price, but for the producer this DAP is going to be 4,000. So whatever cost is going to be, the difference is going to be bear by the government. So government under the nutrient based subsidy, government was providing subsidy to the producer on the basis of nutrients content, on the basis of nutrient contents. Okay, that ideally what should be, that there is for the growth of the plant, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potash is needed, and the ratio should be 4:2:1. Ideally for the growth of the plant, this should be the ratio 4:2:1. This should be the ratio for the growth of the plant, for the productivity of to increase the productivity of the soil with the use of fertilizer. This should ideally, this should be the ratio. this should be the ratio of NPK, 4:2:1. Okay. So what is the meaning of nutrient based subsidy? Let me explain. Nutrient based subsidy means, under the nutrient based subsidy, government is going to give the subsidy to the producer on the basis of content of nutrients, on the basis of content of nutrients. If your fertilizer is having high content of nutrients, that means if it has more nutrients that urea, it has more phosphorus or potash, that means on the basis of that government is going to give the subsidies. Okay, that is the meaning of nutrient based subsidy. That means government is not going to fix, and there is difference between urea based subsidy, don't worry, that government is not going to fix the price. Okay, here government is going to fix the subsidy. Okay, that per bag this should be, okay, we are going to give this much subsidy, but here government is not going to fix. Government is going to give the subsidy to the producer on the basis of nutrients being used. Okay, that content of nutrients, on the basis of content of nutrients. And for that means, let me tell you that what is the scenario, and this was announced by the government for the Rabi crop. For the Rabi crop, that for the nitrogen, that subsidy will be, if nitrogen is 1 kg or 2 kg, whatever is being used, okay, in that the fertilizer, whatever is the content of nitrogen, that nitrogen is going to be given at the rate of 47.202 kg. Okay, phosphorus, for the phosphorus the subsidy is going to be 20 rupees 82 paise per kg. For the potassium, the fertilizer subsidy is going to be given on the basis of 2 rupees 38 paise, and for the sulfur, the subsidy is going to be given at the rate of 1 rupees 89 paise per kg. Okay, so what is the meaning? I just want to say that under the fertilizer based subsidy, subsidy is not going to be fixed by the government. Okay, it is going to be given on the basis of content of the fertilizer. Whatever is the content, on the basis of that per kg. Okay, if nutrients content is there, that means nitrogen content is there, and it is 4 kg. Suppose it is 50 kg of bag. Okay, in 50 kg of bag they have used, ideally it should be 4:2:1. So that means this is going to be 6, 7, or suppose 49 or 50. Okay, so that means it should be nitrogen should be in this 7, 4, 6, 7, 4/7 into 50. Okay, 49. That ideally it should be 28 kg should be nitrogen. Okay, 28 kg should be a nitrogen. 14 kg should be for phosphorus, and 7 kg. Okay, that is going to be 7 kg should be potassium, and 1 kg, suppose 1 kg should be sulfur. Okay, this should be the ideal content. Okay, so whatever is the amount, okay, whatever is the content of the nutrients, on the basis of that government is going to give subsidy. Okay, if they are going to maintain ideal amount, ideal content, so that means 28 into 47.02 kg per kg they are going to get for the nitrogen. For for phosphorus they are going to 40 into 20.82, like this. Okay, so that means under the nutrient based subsidy, the subsidy is being provided by the government on the basis of content in the fertilizer, content of nutrient in the fertilizer. That is the meaning of. What is the case of urea based subsidy? Under the urea based subsidy, government is going to fix. Okay, government is going to fix that this much per bag. Okay, government is going to fix, rather than that. Why? When we already have the nutrient based subsidy, why there is need to have the urea based subsidy? Because urea is important or necessary for the growth of plant to provide the nitrogen. Okay, and it was felt by the government that the requirement of urea cannot be fulfilled only by the nutrient based subsidy. Okay, so that means in order to fulfill the requirement of urea or requirement of nitrogen, there is need to have the urea, there is need to give the subsidy to the urea separately. That's why government is giving the urea based subsidy as well. Okay, because here also subsidy is given for the that nitrogen. Okay, if this is NPK, ratio should be NPK, but through this nutrient based subsidy only, government is of the opinion, through this nutrient based subsidy only, that requirement of nitrogen cannot be fulfilled, okay, in the fertilizer. That's why they are giving the urea based subsidy as well. Okay, and for giving the urea based subsidy, that means it is on the, that means they are going to fix the price. Okay, in the urea based subsidy they are going to fix the price already. Okay, and because of that, that means directly here government is influencing the prices of urea or nitrogen, prices of urea directly. Government is influencing the prices of urea or directly. That's why we come to know, let me tell you, that the price of urea, that bag, price of a 50 kg bag of urea is just 276 rupees, and whereas price of the DAP is 1350. Sareen Amol, good morning dear, good morning, but very late, very late. I am just saying that government is directly giving subsidy on the urea subsidy, under the urea subsidy on the production of urea, whereas government is indirectly giving the subsidy on the basis of for others. It may be nitrogen, it may be phosphorus, it may be potash, through the nutrient based subsidy, So that means they are not directly influencing the prices. Okay, and they were giving the subsidy to the producer on the basis of content used in the fertilizer. Okay, if, and we discussed that how it is. Okay, so because of that, since government is giving direct subsidy on the urea, so that means urea price, that price of urea bag is just 276 rupees, whereas the price of DAP in the market is 1350 rupees, whereas the price of MOP, muriate of potash, is 734. So think about that farmer. Okay, and this is also that because of large population, that means there is small and marginal farmers in India. So they are not thinking about, okay, although that since the prices of urea is comparatively less, okay, or very less, in fact it is just half, okay, fifth, okay, almost a fifth or sixth, 1/6. Okay, that means prices of urea is just 1/6 of the prices of DAP. So think about that, what type of fertilizer they are going to use, because they have to sustain, they have to that means they are not talking about the future. Okay, they are just talking, think about that means current scenario, because they need to have the profit from the agriculture. Okay, in order to have the livelihood. Okay, ultimately because we have used more and more urea, because the cost of urea is lesser for the farmer, because of that the ratio, ideal ratio is should be 4:2:1, but the ratio has become 8:3:1. So that means we are over consuming, that farmers in India are over consuming urea in the form of fertilizer, that is imbalancing, that is reducing the productivity of soil. There is lot many issues we will discuss. Okay, but the thing is, why farmer is that means thinking about or doing it. Okay, that's why some scholars are of the opinion that this urea subsidy should also be included. This urea subsidy should also be included into nutrient based subsidy, because government is directly influencing the prices of urea. Because of that, the prices of urea is less. So that farmer is overusing urea, because farmer is just thinking about that short term objective. The short term objective is just to increase the production by using the fertilizer, but in long term this overuse of urea is going to reduce the fertility of soil. We can discuss we can come to know that also, that in 1990 the yield, that means production per hectare, was 12.1, and it has reduced 2010 to 17, it has reduced to just 5, and it is because of the reduction in fertility of soil, because of overuse of urea. And we can see from here also that they are using urea too much. Okay, think about 357.25, and that means they were not using MOP or nutrient based subsidy, NPKs, nitrogen, phosphorus, potash and sulfur. Think about that, this is the ideally it should be, but they are not using it. Think about MOP, they were not using. Nowadays some DAP use has also increased. So what is going to be the effect of this? The thing is, I just want to say that since government is providing, or government is directly influencing the prices of urea, because of that is directly affecting the consumption of urea. That means there is more and more consumption. Okay, because farmer is thinking about the short term to increase their production. In long term it is going to affect negatively. And why farmer is doing like this? Because in case of India there is small and marginal farmers, and they depend on agriculture, and they think about the short term in order to have their livelihood. So some scholars are of the opinion that if we are going to make urea subsidy, if we are going to include urea subsidy into nutrient based subsidy, that means the subsidy is going to be provided by the government on the basis of content of nutrients in the fertilizer, then this problem is going to be taken care. Okay, we will discuss that what are the. First we are discussing that this, because of overuse of urea, that means the ratio has imbalanced, and that has reduced the fertility of soil. Because of that has reduced the yield from the agriculture production. Yield from agriculture production. Yield means production per hectare, which was used to be 12.1, it has reduced to 5, because they are overusing urea. And why they are overusing for urea? Because the government is directly influencing the prices of urea or giving more subsidy to the urea. That's why prices of urea is less, so a farmer is using more urea. That is imbalancing the ideal ratio. Because of that, it is leading to the soil degradation. We will discuss that what is going to be the consequences of this overuse of urea. That's why some scholar is of the opinion that how we can reduce this overuse of urea by the farmers, by including urea subsidy into nutrient based subsidy. When that farmer will have only one thing, that is they are going to provide only a nutrient based subsidy, that on the basis of nutrients the farmers are going to. But the thing is that, think about that, in the nutrient based subsidy the prices are 1350. Can farmer pay this much? And it is going to be the political issue. That means there is, in order to include urea subsidy into nutrient based subsidy, there is need to have the political will, because it is directly going to affect the farmers, and farmer is the that means vote bank of the political party. So that means in future, in the coming election, when they are going to include the urea urea subsidy or urea fertilizer subsidy into nutrient based subsidy, that is going to affect the political parties. So there is need to have the political will, and there is need to have the awareness among the farmers. Farmers are not aware for the future, for the long term perspective. That farmer is only thinking about the short term perspective. The only objective of farmer is just to increase their production by using maximum fertilizer, which is available at cheaper rate. So what it is? It is urea only, and they are not thinking about the future. Okay, so that means we will discuss all these things, but before that, now we have to discuss that what are the use of that issues with the fertilizer use in India. What are the issues? Okay, what are the issues of fertilizer use? That means problems. Okay, what problems or what issues we are facing? Okay, first thing is imbalanced fertilizer use. Why imbalanced fertilizer use? Because ideal ratio should be 5:2:1, but what it is? It is 8:3:1. That is nothing but excessive use of nitrogen. Okay, we will discuss that what is going to be consequences. Don't worry, we will discuss what can be the consequences for that. Okay, what can be the consequences for that, we will discuss, don't worry. So that means there is excessive use of nitrogen. Because of that, okay, not only this, what is the other? That is lack of the domestic production, dependence on import. Okay, that means we are not producing these fertilizer. We are producing some amount of urea. Okay, that means there is urea producing units in India, but other fertilizers we are not producing. So we are dependent on import only, and that's why this Chawar port is going to be very significant. That will reduce the import cost for fertilizer as well. Okay, you people must be aware about the Chawar port. That means when our foreign minister Jaishankar visited Iran 2 or 3 days before, he signed an agreement. Okay, so that means lack of the domestic production and dependence on import. Okay, other thing is inefficient distribution of subsidy system. Okay, what it is? That means there is lot many middlemen for the distribution, that leads to the leakage. Okay, so these are the issues for the fertilizer subsidy in India. So fertilizer use in India or subsidy in India, there is imbalanced use of fertilizers, there is excessive use of nitrogen, which is there is lack of domestic production. That's why that's why dependence on import, and there is inefficient distribution system. That's why there is lot many middlemen. Okay, and that is leading to leakage in the subsidy scenario. Okay, now we are going to proceed further, and we are going to discuss that what is going to be the effect of this improper use of fertilizer. What is going to be the effects? So the very first thing is, that means there is environmental pollution. Because of this overuse of fertilizer, there is eutrophication. What is the meaning of eutrophication? That means that there is too much algae in the that means in the sea, ocean bodies. There is growth of too much algae in the ocean sea, that affects the oxygen level for aquatic plants. Okay, that is negatively going to impact our environment. Okay, that is instrumental for environment pollution. Okay, that overutilization of fertilizer, because of that there is going to be water logging. Okay, so that means, and that is going to lead the eutrophication. Okay, So what is the meaning of eutrophication? Eutrophication means growth of algae plant in ocean bodies, okay, and they are very harmful for the aquatic life, okay, because they consume the oxygen, okay. So that means the availability of oxygen for the aquatic plant reduces, that negatively affect our environment pollution, negatively affect our environment, that is known as environment pollution. So that means overutilization of fertilizer is going to lead that environment pollution, there is going to be soil degradation, that nature of soil is going to be saline because of waterlogging, okay, because of waterlogging, that overuse of fertilizer, that plant is not going to consume all the fertilizer, okay. So because of that there is going to be the soil is going to be saline, okay, soil is going to be saline and it is going to degrade the quality, okay, not because of saline, it is very cancerogenic, okay. So the soil is going to be that production on that soil is going to be cancerogenic, okay, and productivity is also going to reduce. We have discussed that we have given the facts as well, that the productivity has reduced, okay, and it is going to be cancerogenic as well. There is going to be soil degradation because of waterlogging, okay. Not only this, it reduced the crop quality, definitely, okay, because farmer is going to use more and more fertilizer in order to increase the production, so that this is not going to grow the naturally, so that means crop quality is going to reduce. Other thing, there can be groundwater contamination, okay, there will be groundwater contamination, okay. Other thing, there is going to be health concern, okay, there is going to be economic burden, not only this, there is going to be greenhouse emission, more and more environment pollution. We discuss imbalance in the crop nutrient uptakes, okay, there is going to be imbalance uptake of nutrients by the crop, because there is going to be more and more use of nitrogen, okay. So what are the measures government has taken, what are the initiative the government has taken in that regard? We can say that this PM Pranam, this is a scheme, PM Pranam scheme, that was announced by the government in the budget of 2023-24, that means this financial year budget which is running, okay. So this was the latest one, okay. What is PM Pranam? PM Pranam is nothing. PM Pranam means program for restoration, awareness, nourishment and amelioration of Mother Earth, okay. We will discuss it in detail, don't worry, okay. So the very first step is that government has announced PM Pranam program, okay. What it is? It is nothing but reducing the chemical fertilizer and promoting the farmers to use biofertilizer or alternative fertilizer. Don't worry, we will discuss, okay, in detail. What are the other initiatives? There is direct benefit transfer. Now in order to make the system more efficient, because there was delivery issues we discussed, okay, ineffective delivery system. So in order to make delivery system more efficient, now the government is directly giving the subsidies to the farmers, okay. Other thing is, now there is nutrient based subsidy, and we have discussed the nutrient based subsidy, that subsidy is going to be given on the basis of content of nutrients in the fertilizer. So and the government announced that for the nitrogen it will be 48 rupees something per kg, for phosphorus it will be this much, for like this, okay. Other is one nation one fertilizer. Government is nowadays all the fertilizer is that means sold out in India with same name, that is Bharat, okay. Earlier the fertilizer was sold out with different names. So now it is being sold out by one name only, Bharat, Okay, so this is the case. Now we are going to discuss in detail that PM Pranam. Okay, what is PM Pranam Yojana, or and how it is going to be effective, okay, for fertilizer subsidy, to reduce fertilizer subsidy. Okay, PM Pranam is nothing but to promote the balanced use of the chemical and the alternative fertilizer, that there should be balanced use of chemical and alternative fertilizer. Alternative fertilizer means biofertilizer, rather than dependent on chemical fertilizer. The farmers should have to use the biofertilizer, or they have to promote the organic farming. They should have to be promoted for the organic farming. They should be motivated for the organic farming. That is nothing but PM Pranam. Okay, regenerating awareness for regenerative agriculture. Okay, that is nothing but that organic farming only. Okay, motivating the farmers for the organic farming. Okay, or use of biofertilizer. Okay, there should be balanced use, and the farmers should be motivated to use biofertilizer rather than chemical fertilizers. That is the purpose of PM Pranam, and that was announced in budget 2023-24, that means in current fiscal year. Not only this, what is going to be the benefit? It is going to reduce the subsidy bill. Okay, because we are going to promote the biofertilizers, so that chemical use of consumption of chemical fertilizer is going to reduce. Since consumption of chemical fertilizer is going to reduce, so definitely subsidy is going to be reduced. Okay, since subsidy is going to reduce, so it is going to reduce the fiscal deficit of the government. It is going to reduce the fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit means the difference between expenditure of government and receipts of government, okay, and need of borrowing. So if subsidy is going to reduce, so the difference is also going to reduce. Okay, that means there will be gradual phase out of chemical fertilizers. If the farmers will use more and more that biofertilizer or other fertilizer, or they will do the organic farming, then they will, that means the use of chemical fertilizer will be phased out. Okay, other things should be that it will support the farmers fertilizer cooperatives. Okay, and incentivizing the sales and distribution network, and they, under this schemes only, there is also the provision that there will be demonstration and certificate. Okay, that means when you are going to use the alternative fertilizer, that is biofertilizer, or you are going to do the organic farming, the government will first give the demonstration for the use of biofertilizers, and when you are doing it, the government will also provide the certificate. Okay, so this is about the nutrient based subsidy. This is about the fertilizer subsidy. Now we are going to discuss that way forward. Okay, that what should be. Okay, what should be? The very first thing is, as I said, that there was a scholar's opinion. First of all, that the urea based subsidy should be included into nutrient based subsidy. Okay, we will discuss the drawbacks, don't worry. The first we have to give the way forward, that means the urea based subsidy should be included into nutrient based subsidy, so that the overuse of nitrogen can be taken care. Okay, and second thing is that soil health card, the scheme of soil health card should not be in papers only, rather it should be implemented in real terms on ground level. Third thing, there is some scholars and their opinion is that subsidy should be given on the basis of per hectare. Okay, rather than government fixing the prices for the fertilizer, or giving the on the basis of nutrients or content of nutrients in the fertilizer, government should give per hectare subsidy to directly to the farmer, and they can use it for whatever purpose. Okay, not whatever purpose, rather they should have to use for the fertilizers only. That's the issue, that there is need to have the awareness among the farmers. That's why there is issue, and at the same time there is need to have the monitoring, which is very difficult. Some scholars, let me clear that some scholars are of the opinion, just to imbalance, to reduce this imbalance or to make it reform, there should be, first thing there, if we are going to make it, then it is going to reduce the fertilizer subsidy, burden of fertilizer subsidy to the government. And second thing is, it is also going to reform the imbalance. For that, what should be there? That fertilizer subsidy which is given by the government by fixing the prices. In case of urea based subsidy, it is directly fixed by the government, and other they are giving subsidy on the basis of content of nutrients. So rather than that, the scholars are of the opinion that farmers should get directly the subsidy in their account on the basis of per hectare, on the basis of per hectare, and with that subsidy they can use NPK, okay, they can use the NPK fertilizer, okay, in adequate amount, whatever is ratio that is required. But the issue with this is, the issue with this is that there is need to have the awareness that when the government transferred the subsidy or transferred the money directly to the account of farmers, now there is high possibility that farmers are going to use that money for other purposes, and that may create the food security for India, because the growth is going to, because they will not be in position to use fertilizer, and in that condition the production is going to decrease. In that condition there can be food security, issue with food security. Second thing, that means that means for making it effective, there is need to that there should be awareness among the farmers, and there is that this use of this direct benefits should be highly monitored, which is very difficult, okay. And other thing we have talked about, that urea based subsidy or urea fertilizer subsidy should be included in NBS, okay, nutrient based subsidy, okay. There should be only nutrient based subsidy, and it should be NPK ideal ratio, and but the thing is that here when we are going to include, there is need to have the political will, because the prices is going to be, when we are going to eat, that means prices are going to be too high, prices are going to be too high, okay, and it is directly going to affect the income of the farmer, okay. So for making urea subsidy, including a urea subsidy into nutrient based subsidy, there is need to have the political will. So this is all about our today's session. If there is any doubt, let me know, otherwise we stop here. Thank you very much, dears, okay. Let me know if there is any doubt, otherwise we stop here. If there is any doubt, let me know, otherwise we stop here. And to get the PDF of this, you can join this Telegram ID, or not only this PDF but also lot many things. To satisfy any query related to the preparation of UPSC Civil Services exam, you can join this Telegram ID. So we stop here. Thank you very much, dears. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. We stop here.